Many times at this intersection, I have came across a man that suffers from poverty. He will ask for food, he will ask for money, he will ask for anything that helps. But I would wonder to myself, what if no one offered help? I'm sure all of us have encountered a situation where we have came across someone holding up a sign that says, "We'll work for food," or "Anything helps, God bless." These are just some of the many examples of victims of poverty in the United States. Even though poverty in the United States may seem like it is in dire condition, I can assure you that poverty in Zimbabwe is much more severe. In the past, I have participated in numerous food drives, and within my church I have volunteered for service projects with the goal of helping those in need. This has led me to research poverty concerns in the United States and poverty concerns in other countries such as Zimbabwe. So let's review the poverty concerns in the United States. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, as of 2015, 43 million Americans were living in poverty. Poverty in the United States is determined by the government, and the government determines poverty by the total annual income, the size of the family, and the age of the members of the family. For one singular individual, the poverty line or the poverty threshold is $12,000 or less. And for 9 or more individuals, it is $49,000 or less. During 2015, approximately 19.5 million Americans were living in deep poverty. And deep poverty means that they were receiving around half of what their estimated threshold was. Along with that, 1/3 of the national population lives close to poverty, meaning that they receive a slightly larger amount than their estimated threshold. So how does poverty affect demographics? Based on a survey conducted by the U.S. Census Bureau, in the year 2015, 12.2% of the population affected were male, and 14.8% of the population were female. Along with that, 14.9% affected single father families, and 28.2% affected single mother families. According to the USDA, the Food and Nutrition Service, 1 in 5 children in America suffer from malnutrition. That is around 19.7% or 14.5 million children. Even though 43 million Americans suffer from poverty, there are hundreds of national and global organizations that are fighting hunger and poverty. According to the Food and Nutrition Service, the National School Lunch Program fed 30.3 million children in the year 2016. Like I said before, even though poverty concerns in the United States may seem like they are in dire condition, I can assure you that they are not compared anything to the poverty conditions of Zimbabwe. So let's talk about the poverty concerns in Zimbabwe. Here's Zimbabwe. During 1990 and 2003, an economic crisis struck Zimbabwe. According to the Rural povertyportrayal.org, 2/3 of the total population in Zimbabwe suffer from poverty. That is 8.3 million out of 14 million people. Now, Zimbabwe wasn't always like this. Before the economic crisis, it was a very prosperous country. The agricultural industry was divided into 2 branches, the food crops and the cash crops. But the land reforms created a transition from large-scale production farms to smallholder production farms. And this was, as a result, was the loss of 400,000 jobs. So the major effects of the crisis, what are they? Well, The crisis prevents agricultural and capital productivity, and the agricultural industry suffers because it lacks credit. It lacks essentials such as fertilizer, seeds, fuel, things of that nature. And as many of you know, many parts of Africa already suffer from droughts. If you team that up with poor investment in water management, that's a perfect recipe for food scarcity. According to the RuralPovertyPortrayal.org, 1 in 3 children in Zimbabwe suffer from malnutrition. With that said, just like in the United States, there are hundreds of global organizations that are fighting poverty and hunger. According to the Borgen Project, the United Nations and the World Food Program are among the most popular organizations. Along at their side, there is an organization called TechnoServe. It provides essential skills and possible solutions to the agricultural defects. So today I have informed you of the poverty levels, the direct results including the agricultural and capital defects, and the organizations in Zimbabwe and the United States that are fighting poverty and hunger. So I would like to end with a powerful quote from Bill Kurtz, who once said, "The reality is that we are all economists. We all deal with scarcity as we make choices and calculate how to ration various items and resources, and that we consume, produce, and utilize." Thank you.